Hi, this is Jack Welch, home call sign Alpha India 4 Sierra Victor. I recently moved to Cyprus, and over the last couple of months I've been activating SOTA peaks. Normally I blog about them afterwards, but today I thought I'd try making a video. Today's peak is Kreatos. It's the closest summit to the capital city of Nicosia, and it looks to be about 25 minutes away by car. So I'm going to drive out there. I have no idea what it's going to be like getting up there. I've looked at it on Google Maps. It looks like there's a road or a path. It's always hard to tell. Usually they're dirt. And the question is, can I get the car up it? It switches back and forth. Looking at the topographic map, it looks like it's a relatively steep approach. So Google Maps takes me down to a certain point along a main highway, and then I'm going to have to branch off. I've marked the trail. Maybe I can add in a graphic here of the approach I think I'm going to take based on Google Maps and open topo maps, and we'll see if that actually pans out or not. Like a lot of the peaks that are near to Nicosia, the capital, this is only a 2-point peak. I think it's 600 something meters up. There are 10-point peaks on the island in the Kreatos mountains. So if we turn towards the village of Nicosia, looks like there's a bunch of mounds here, not like the big mountains in the distance. I'm wondering if that one that's coming up on the left-hand side is the one that we'll be going to. That probably meets the definition of the prominence by SOTA terms. Well, let's see. Looks pretty steep. Okay, at this point I hopped out, locked the front wheels, and put the car in 4-wheel drive. Not sure if this is going to be navigable or not. At least it seems dry today. The hill looks a little bit crumbly. Let's see how the road is. Most of the plants up here are pretty spiky, thorny, that sort of thing. Thick pants are the rule, and don't grab anything with your paws. Narrower here. I think we're more or less here, and there's a little place I can duck into with the car. All right. And hopefully up on that ledge there'll be a good place for the antenna. Okay, and now in retrospect, it looks like that isn't the highest spot. Road turns away to the left, but going up just a little bit more, it looks like the road heads up a little bit higher. So I'm going to take the equipment up there. I'm just going to take it where it's fitting. Here's the road that we came up. Looks like there's road and more mountains in the distance. All right, let's head up the hill to what I think is the summit. And it feels just a little bit more legitimate this way, walking up to the summit, even though, yeah, that would have been a long walk up that mountain. I've decided to do the ones that I can drive up to first, just to explore if they actually are drivable for people who may not be able to walk up a mountain, and things that are close into Nicosia for folks that are visiting the country, flying in through the main airport, and have a limited amount of time. Eventually I'll get to the somewhat more difficult to activate peaks. Okay, approaching the peak. This definitely is sort of a flat summit to operate from. There's a trig point. Take a look at that. There it is, Kreatos. And I'm not sure what that is. Looks like the foundation of a house. You know, for all I know, that could be thousands of years old. Actually looks rather extensive. And then, of course, the panorama around. So you can see now facing north, westish, and wrapping around south again. So those are the Kreatos mountains off in the distance. At this point, I put up the buddy pole, being careful not to put the stakes for the guy wires into anything that looked like it might be of archaeological significance. I started on 15 meters and worked my way down the bands. On a day with no sunspots, 15 meters was way too optimistic and it was utterly dead. 17 was a bit better, and most of the contacts were on 20 and 30 meters. I was not able to get the buddy pole to tune up on 40 meters, and the sun was getting lower, so at that point I called it a day. It's nearly impossible to show this part, the actual operating. That's my knee. This is at the end of a run on 30 meters, so it's unlikely anyone's going to respond, which is good because I've got my hands full with the phone and a pen. Try one more time. Normally I've got headphones in, not listening to it on the speaker like this. Here's the kind of pulsatile noise that I'm getting on 15 and so far on 17. It comes and goes. Wouldn't be surprised if it was that radar over there on the hill. I don't see a lot of other antennas up here. And then it's gone. Right, packed up. The sky is getting a little bit unhappy looking. Gotta cart my stuff back and then upload the log. Is it any better going down the mountain? Not really, because you gotta look down as you're going down. But at least I got out before it got too dark. Here's where the dirt road empties out at the bottom to sort of a residential area. So that's it for my activation of 5B stroke CY-043 Kreatos Peak. It's close to the capital, but it requires either a high clearance vehicle, preferably with four-wheel drive, or at least a couple-hour hike up and back down. If you do hike, remember that for most of the year, it's really hot in Cyprus. In the summer, it's up near 40 C or above 100 Fahrenheit. So this kind of peak doesn't benefit from high elevation in terms of coolness. It's best to do this one in the winter. So 73 from 5 Bravo stroke Alpha India 4 Sierra Victor, clear.